Welcome to this video on using Gaia to create 3D landscape from reference images. I wanted to approach the structure using primitives primarily to create the twin peaks, starting with a volcano node as seen in the settings on the right side of the screen. The next step would be adding a transform node to the tree and connecting it to a combine node, taking input 1. Input 2 would have the same volcano and transform nodes duplicated in the correct position, as seen in the reference. I have the combine set to max and ratio set at 0.96. Branching out from this node, I set a mask, determining the height of the peak area so I can add it to another shape. The other branch, I added a swirl function to give the general scene dynamic movement that is natural to terrains in real life. Those two branches connect to a combine node on input 1 and a mountain node using alpine feature as seen in the settings connected to input 2, with the node set to blend at ratio of 1.0. After that, I added erosion to pull the initial structure together and unite it. On the upper portion of this stage, I branched out 4 other connections to the following. Thermal shaper to smooth out the previous result, connecting to a combine on input 1. Input 2 has another combine, which has 2 branches from the erosion 2 node. One connects directly to input 1, and an outcrops rock node attached to input 2 and set to blend at 0.5 ratio. The next combine node we mentioned is also set as blend on 0.55 ratio. The lower portion has a branch from erosion 2 connected to a rockscape node and connected to a combine which is currently set to 0.0 ratio and has no function other than connecting for later use in the middle of these 2 sections. I wanted to adjust the terrain on the back and front of the landscape to better suit our goals creating this reference, so I added a simplified volcano node as seen in the settings, and connected it to transform node and duplicated it 4 times to move and combine them all as one general simple form, and cut out or subtract from the main mountain terrain. The properties are shown in the settings area. Following the video, next added a second erosion node for more weathering effects and connected that to a combine on input 1. The purpose of this section is to stretch and push the peaks to serve the accuracy of our desired mountain landscape. Input 2 has a recurve and a shatter node connected to it. I can see that the node is doing what I anticipated to stretch the peak section, and now we have that area easily adjustable. After the peak stretch node, I added 2 branching combine nodes. The upper combine node has the peak stretch node connected to input 2, and I added 2 mountain nodes, each mountain settings visible on the right side. The purpose for this move was to add the volume missing from the general form of the mountains, so I mixed 2 to add in the missing thickness using blend at 0.5 ratio and attached a swirl effect to the result to connect it to input 1 as seen on screen. The second combine node, located lower, is the final step before adding the snow to the overall landscape terrain, set to max at 0.98 ratio. Input 2 is connected to peak stretch node made earlier, and attached to input 1 is a combine node blending 2 detailed erosion layers using a height mask as shown here. And finally, the pre-snow structure is ready, and part 1 is complete. See you in part 2.